to Real Civil Architect, and welcome to my essay for my ELA class, It Doesn't Take a Rocket Scientist. So basically, my teacher said that we could make an essay of anything we wanted to make, but we had to teach her how to do it. And me, not having many talents, chose rocket science. This is going to be an interesting read aloud. If you're not good at Spaceflight Simulator, this is, Kerbal Space Program, more really, because, a lot of the stuff is not in Spaceflight Simulator, so, here we go. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. Do you want to become one of the smartest scientists? It doesn't take a rocket scientist is a common phrase used in not-so-difficult situations, but in my opinion, rocket science is rather easy. We will make a 3-stage rocket for astronauts to take to the moon. Please warn them, despite popular belief, the fuel is not orange-flavored and should not be tasted. There's 2 periods there. I'm just messing it up worse. First, we will build the takeoff stage. This one is rather straightforward, with not much learning needed to make it. With a heavy rocket like such, you can pick up to 9 medium engines, where 3D comes in. That's why I said Kerbal Space, which was used for the Apollo 11 and Starship. The first rocket to go to the moon. Dang, I forgot a bit. Okay, fixed it, finally. Okay, I don't think there will be any more problems like that. You can also pick one very large engine, which would be the Mammoth engine, or some mediums, like used in the very, very common NASA space shuttle, with 2 solid rocket boosters. Solid rocket boosters are cheap and powerful, but they cannot be slow to shut off. It is recommended for mission safety and the crew's safety that these are used only for the takeoff stage. Most of them don't run for long, but the ratio of thrust is length to width. Width makes it more powerful and length makes it go longer. They counteract each other, so be careful. It is recommended, but not necessary, to have fins on your bottom stage if you chose the solid rocket booster format, then it is highly recommended. The craft goes top-heavy when they are low on your fuel. You may want to make sure that these can... You may want to make sure that these can turn so the astronauts can perform the gravity turn for the recommended way of orbit, but how to fly a rocket will be part of the next lesson. Please keep your thrust-to-weight ratio between 2 and 5. It is below 2, your rocket is too heavy and will take off too slow. If it is above 5, you have too much thrust or not enough weight, meaning you could be forgetting something. Also, aerodynamic heating may occur before the return, and that could damage the rocket and even destroy it. Next, we will build an orbital stage. You will want to use less powerful engines due to the fact that we don't have infinite fuel. You could dock it to an orbital station, but that takes more fuel and you need a precise engine. The moon is easy to catch, but it takes longer if you aren't precise. Apollo 13 had no food and little oxygen, so in case things go wrong, you want to get home fast. 1 medium engine should be enough in low gravity. There is still gravity, but orbit is going sideways faster than it's pulling you down. For this stage, it is recommended that you have RCS, or reaction control systems. This uses monopropellant, just like the normal fuel, oxygenated as well, but weaker. If you wish, you can have separate landers and pods where the lander will separate and the lander will dock, which is what NASA did for the Apollo 13, the Apollo program, this takes longer. And also, they didn't land on the moon with Apollo 13. I recommend for newer or rushed pilots that you combine them and have a large lander that can return easily. Harder to build, but easier to fly. Easier to build, but harder to fly for the other one. You may want to cover the whole lander stage in a fairing, or a protective shell. That will be mentioned in the glossary, hopefully. Third, we will make the lander and return. Pod that has the astronauts must have a heat shield. Aerodynamic heating is when the air molecules have no time to move, get hotter, and pelt the craft. It also needs a parachute for obvious reasons. The lander must have landing legs, size varying. Where was I? Size varying on lander size. Both the ship and the lander must have a form of communication to report achievements or damages to mission control. It is supposed to have one engine. I messed it up. I suck. One engine. There should be at least one person in the pod and at least one person in the lander. If you merge them together, I still advise you to have room for two. In the end, rocket science wasn't that hard. He designed a 3-stage rocket that is launching if you look out that window over there. Elon will take you back to SpaceX to make his next Starship. He's in your lot with the Starship. Double parks, too. I do not have fairings. Sorry. Shh. Heat-proof aerodynamic. Done. I think that's the final edit because I'm like at the end. Very end. Anyway, that is going to be it for this read aloud. I'm going to add this to my why it's important. I don't need to. I'm not going to add captions, but you can obviously read the story. So, I hope you liked it. I'm Real Civil Architect. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you will enjoy what is to come. And I will see you guys in the next very hesitant and idealist video.